Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come in here to share, subscribe as well. Let's get it popping. All right, so we back at it with another video for y'all today, man. We're talking about the Clippers' last night defeat to the Houston Rockets, 103-111. Went down to the wire, being down 18 points in the, I believe in the, I want to say fourth quarter. We were down by, double digits, and it looked like the game was pretty much out of reach. And I want to talk about a few things, but I thought the Clippers, found something yesterday in terms of, rotations and how Ty Lue needs to be using his rotations and certain players. Certain things that I seen was Terrence Mann finally come out on his own and actually, answer the call. He's been playing, not the best as of late. And down the stretch in that fourth quarter, Terrence Mann really showed himself to be very, very productive. For the first three quarters, he was, still kind of just being mediocre, not shooting the ball. I think he was at 2 and 5 going into the fourth quarter, and it just felt like he wasn't out there again. And then the fourth quarter comes, and Ty Lue makes a lineup adjustment, and Terrence Mann came upon his own and how he was supposed to perform, how he's supposed to perform, being aggressive, getting on the glass. And help part of that, bring the run back down to, I think, as close to 4 points. They had Bones Highland, Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, Amir Coffey, and Terrence Mann in that last 5-minute stretch. So, Houston, being a team that is young, who's athletic, who's well coached, they're a team that's going to give the Clippers the run for their money, because we play very hard, but we don't have the talent to match the amount of heart that we play with. And so when you face a team like Houston, who plays hard just like us, and has the youth and has the athleticism and has the talent to match us, with a Jalen Green, with a Alfred Sengun, Alfred Sengun didn't really play all that well. You got Fred VanVleet, who's a vet. You got Dylan Brooks, who's a, experienced player in big moments. You got a lot to go with on that team, but those guys didn't really take the show. It was, what was his name? Amon Thompson and the other guy, Eton, both of their, forwards for Houston that was, getting boards and, possessions. They both had 18 points and 10 rebounds yesterday off the bench. So Houston being a fourth seed, they're not a team that you guys just, can just wave off. They're a very, very, solid team. And they have a coach in Ime Udoka, who's trying to build a coach over there, a winning coach. And he's doing very well. And, we got them again on Friday tomorrow to play in the in-season tournament. But in talking about, Houston and talking about, what we did yesterday with the lineups, I want to talk to y'all about James Harden. Now, I came in the other day and talked about, the game after we faced OKC. And I said a lot of people are giving James Harden a pass. Well, I won't even say a lot of people. I think people are calling it out, but not enough. They're not looking deep enough in, his play into why the Clippers fall in these situations. I named 3 different instances, actually more than that, the other night, of games we can put on James Harden where he solely lost. Whether it be a turnover, whether it be bad possessions down the stretch, whether him, taking a shot away from somebody else that deserved it. Going into this season, people had hopes to think that James Harden was going to be the guy in Houston that was going to basically carry the load offensively, scoring and, playmaking at a high rate. And I think after that, I would say after the first 2-3 games, that went out the window. So now it went from Houston, he's going to carry us in the scoring department, to now he's going to have to, be the playmaker. And he's going to have to, get Zoo and get Norman Powell involved, because those are the guys who offensively, I think, best suited us to play the ball through. Well, that lasted more than probably 2 games itself, against Golden State and against Denver. You remember the first couple away games? Those are the 2 games I think Norm and both Zoo had their biggest, performances and wins. So y'all been seeing Zubac not getting as many touches ever since that game. He has not been getting as many touches. Still efficient, still giving you, 18 points, 12 rebounds off of 56% field goal shooting. Still efficient, still not getting the ball as much. Norman Powell, as great as he's been playing and how much of an effect he has been, every game, if you guys look, still shows that James Harden's been out shooting him. But this is supposed to be the playmaker, it's supposed to be the point guard of our team, but he's out shooting the best offensive player, averaging 26 points per game. Nobody calls it out. Why is he out shooting our best offensive threat? Who's been the most efficient? Who scores when we need buckets? I've been seeing this game in and game out, and I ain't really been saying too much about it, but now I'm going to start speaking on it. Because I think certain people give certain players a pass because of who they want to throw a narrative about. And y'all know what I'm going to say about that narrative. You know what they call me. I ain't got to say it. He's averaging as many turnovers as he is assists. Let me say that again. He's averaging more turnovers than he is assists. I'm sorry. He's averaging 5.2 turnovers and averaging 8.2 assists. Okay? That is a below average 2-1 ratio. That's not good. Assist turnover ratio. You're not supposed to average. You can't. If you're going to average the turnovers, you got to match it with the assists. He's not doing that. He's shooting under 30. He's shooting under 40% from the field. 36% from the field. He's shooting 31% from three. Under 30%. Under 35% from three. He's shooting 84% from the line, which is still a drop-off from what he usually shoots throughout his career. So his shooting splits have went down. His turnover ratio has went up. His assist numbers went down. And so I see yesterday that against Houston, he got benched. But I ain't just seen that against Houston. I've seen that in other games as well. Against OKC the other night, he got benched, and the Clippers tend to, come back into the game. I said this, and I'm going to say it again. The Clippers going to have to find a counterbalance between the James Harden offense and the Clipper offense. What is the James Harden offense? James Harden offense is that he has the ball. He dictates who gets the ball. He dictates when he shoots the ball. He has the highest usage with the ball. That's the James Harden offense he's been running since 2013. Well, now you done picked up the Clipper offense where it's about ball movement, it's about sharing the rock, it's about whoever's hot gets the opportunities to score, whether that be Norman Powell, whether that be a Ivica Zubac, whether that be Amir Coffey, whether that be Derrick Jones Jr., whether that be anybody, whoever has the hot hand is getting the shots, and we're going to let everybody touch it. And so I said before the season started, or after the game against Phoenix, where Harden went 10 for 28, or 10 for 30, he had 28 points. I said that's not a high efficiency game. And for him to take 30 shots, that's not going to last. Every game that he has played, do y'all know, and out of the 12 games he has played, only 11 of them, out of 11 to 12 games, he's been under 50% shooting. I'm going to say that again. 11 out of 20 games, or 11 out of 12 games, he's been under 50% shooting. And the only game he shot over 50% was against San Antonio, and he was 6 for 10. If he takes more than 10 shots, he's not going to be efficient. He's not going to be over 50%. The old James Harden could give you 30, 35 points while shooting around 45, 46%. And shooting around 40% from the three. That's a dip. That's a drop off of for what he usually has. He's not the same player. That Houston James Harden is not gonna come back. And the Brooklyn James Harden, he was giving you. He was efficient. He could score and he could assist the rock. So when you take that away from him, in Houston and in Brooklyn, and you put him in where he's at right now, that's why you guys are seeing what you're seeing. James Harden got benched last night, yet again. And the Clippers actually came back and, made it interesting. Now, they didn't win, but I think Ty Lue is starting to see that this offense, this system that they're trying to use James Harden with, is just simply not going to be enough to get over the hump, at least especially until Kawhi comes back. Now, when Kawhi comes back, I think James Harden will be a little bit more effective because now you have another, guy you have to pay attention to on the defense. So it's going to give him more open shots. But we don't know when he's going to come back. So we have to go about what's happening right now. And what happens right now is that we have two guys who are more effective in Norman Powell and Ivica Zubac on the offensive end. Yes, Zubac is averaging less points than James Harden. At 18 points, James Harden is averaging 20. But the opportunities that Zubac is not getting to what James Harden is getting to score is a big reason why his numbers ain't as high. So I said it basically like, if you're going to be the guy that shoots the most shots, and I'm talking about James Harden, you can't shoot under 40% from the field. You can't shoot under 5% from the three. You can't turn the ball over at 5 assist turnover ratio and not match it with at least 10 assists per game. See, that's where people say, okay, well, turnovers. Everybody's going to turn the rock over. It's not the point if you turn the rock over. It's more about, can you match it as a point guard with the assist numbers, and can you make up for it on the other end on defense, which we know James Harden on the defensive end is another thing. He has to be hidden. Watching that game against Houston yesterday showed me when James Harden has to deal with these young, athletic, fast, long wings like Amon Thompson, right? If he has to deal with players like that on a nightly basis, they're going to wear his ass out. So what do you have now? You have a James Harden that looks like he's out of place and out of touch there. He looks like almost like a decoy. Defensively, I think sometimes defensively he needs to be guarding the power forward. He don't need to be guarding the point guard because they're going to wear him out. But James Harden's one of his strong suits is that he's very, very strong on his lower body, and he's very strong on his upper body as well. So it's not like he can't make an effect, dealing with some power forwards. He can hold his weight. But the main point of me making this vid is I can already see it right now. And I told somebody this the other day. I said James Harden may resort to a role player. And I'm not even kidding. Because the way Norman Powell is playing is more effective. He's more of an important player to us right now. Zubac's more important to get the ball to right now. And it looks like Harden is not even looking at Ivica Zubac. He's not even looking at Norman Powell. Well, I'm sorry, he's not even looking like Zubac. He's that pick and roll that y'all seen against Denver, against Golden State. When have y'all been seeing that? When's the last time y'all been seeing that? Seeing Zubac roll to the basket and Harden giving him the ball. Like, when have y'all seen it? It's because one or two things. Either the defenses are adjusting to it and they're not allowing him to get that off, or Harden is choosing not to give Zubac the basketball. You don't have to even give him the ball in the pick and roll. You can give it to him just, him calling in the post. I've seen plays where Zubac is calling for the ball, yelling for it, begging for it, and Harden will not throw it to him. But you got Nicholas Batum giving him the ball. You got Kevin Porter Jr. giving him the ball. You got, even in occasions, Norman Powell giving him the ball. But our point guard ain't giving him the ball. All I'm telling y'all to do is just to keep your eyes open and your ears open. James Harden's ability to carry this team till Kawhi Leonard gets back is becoming more and more less of a reality, because his production, and not just his numbers, but what he's able to do effectively on the court is not much he can really do effectively. People are starting to give him credit for having good defensive stops. One thing he's doing well, he's deflecting the ball. You know, he's getting strips on defense. But the stuff that, the good, the bad stuff that I just named outweighs the good stuff I just named. Assist turnover ratio, not 2-to-1. High turnovers to begin with. Assist numbers go down from what he usually is. And you can put that on some of it. You don't have a lot of the players to really pass the ball to as much, who are not offensively talented. You can say that. But that means you shouldn't have as many turnovers then. Your turnovers, and I'm watching these games, every last one of them, your turnovers are coming off of a few things. You not valuing the basketball. You'll turn it over and not even try to get back on defense. That's another thing. If you're going to turn the rock over, at least make an attempt to get back. Turnovers is bad passes, bad possessions. Turnovers could be, him getting pressured by, two people through a trap as well. I've seen that as well, especially against OKC. But that should be more of an emphasis to give the ball up early. And that's what the James Harden offense is. Like, you hold on to the ball entirely too long, to the point where other players don't even have the opportunity to, get a good shot because you held the ball to the, the bottom of the shot clock. And I'll say this last thing. Do I feel James Harden is going to eventually play better? It depends what you mean by play better. Do you mean him shooting the ball better? Do you mean averaging more points? Do you mean him averaging less turnovers or more assists? It depends what category you ask me. If he's going to average more points, no, I don't think he needs to average more points. I think he needs to average less points. Do I think his field goal percentage shooting can get better? Yes. If it should be, but it's all up to him. It's all up to him letting go of what he's used to doing, which is having the most majority of the shots and shooting better quality shots, more catch and shoots, playing off the ball, more, less of these long threes where he just throws the ball up and he falls back hoping to get the foul call. That's another thing. That's why his field goal percentage is going down too. You're not going to get that call all the time. And as a matter of fact, more times than not, you're not getting that call. So when you take a shot like that, you throw it up and you don't even attempt to make it, that goes against your field goal percentage, your three-point shooting. Stop doing that. Allow your teammates to help you. Play a little bit off ball, spot up and shoot. Chris Dunn has been moved to the starting lineup. He's a point guard. Let him get you opportunities to get open. But when Kawhi gets back, I think there'll be more opportunities for James Harden to get more catch and shoot threes. Right? So, those are two emphases. I don't think his turnovers are going to go much down until he gets off the ball. I just think James Harden's spot right now needs to be he needs to be the third option scoring. He needs to be focusing on get Zubac and Norman Powell as many open shots as possible. And he needs to focus and zone in more on the defensive end. I know you're not as quick and fast as these other guards, but you can make your impact more on the defensive end by choosing to probably get on the floor more, dive on loose balls. Right? But there's a reason why Ty Lue benched James Harden yesterday, and he's been really benching him, if y'all ain't noticing, the last few games in certain stretches. I think personally he's starting to think to himself, should I continuously have this system, or should I, continue to play through everybody else? We're going to see a lot in the next game against Houston what happens. I don't know I think Houston's they're a bad matchup for us until Kawhi gets back. But we'll see what happens. Until next time, Pub C, Pub Check, Pub Peace. Out of here like swim wow.